right, so what we need to do is we need to take some of that mass and we need to displace it on the x-axis. So I'm going to scrub back and forth between frames 11 and frames 12. And I think I'm relatively happy with how that looks. All right, so let's go ahead and do a RAM preview. All right, and I'm satisfied with those results. Okay, now the only problem is that we've only animated the ball to bounce once. What we need to do is we need to take these keyframes that we've created and copy them and paste them. So I selected all the keyframes from both the position and the scale attributes. I'm going to hold down Shift and click and drag the timeline indicator. And what happens is that it snaps to the keyframes on the timeline. I'll hit Command V to paste that. Hold down Shift and drag that till it snaps that final keyframe and paste. I'll go ahead and do it 2 more times. All right, so now I have 5 sets of individual bounces. So I'll go ahead and select those 5 sets and copy them. Hold down Shift and drag the timeline indicator to the 5-second mark. And I'll paste that again, and it now occupies the entirety of our 10-second timeline. All right, so I'm building a RAM preview, and we can sit here now and watch the ball bounce continuously. Okay, if you look right down here, you can see this green stripe on the timeline. This actually shows how much of our actual timeline rendered out. Basically, we ran out of RAM right around 5.5 seconds. Okay, now if that's problematic to you, what we can do is we can actually lower the resolution temporarily of our animation by clicking on this little drop box that says full immediately below our workspace, and go ahead and select half instead of full. Now let's go ahead and re-render this, and it should render out the timeline in its entirety. Now just because we're previewing this in half or third or quarter resolution doesn't mean that we have to export it in that resolution. This is just one way of you kind of maximizing your hardware configuration if you don't have very much RAM as you're trying to do this.